shit. A real fucking icebox.
By our powers combined, we give you the Galactic Family Podcast.
Hello, my name is Nick Pope, formerly from the British UFO Desk, and you're listening to the Galactic Family Podcast.
Hey, how's everyone doing today in the Galactic Family Podcast world? This is a very special day for us. It marks our 1-year milestone anniversary. It's official. Galactic Family Podcast has been around for a year, delivering on our promises to you, bringing exceptional, in-depth guest interviews, supporting our animal shelter outreach project, where together we donated over $1,000 in dog and cat supplies to our local no-kill shelter for Christmas 2025, and building our incredible rockstar community on Discord, exploring disclosure and the unknown side by side. Soon we'll also be transitioning into our summer schedule, featuring live on-site investigations and in-person interviews, and a lot more ahead. From the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you for being part of this journey. And just a reminder, our channel memberships are now open only for $1 a month. And whether you choose to be a member or not, you guys are all amazing in my book, so it doesn't matter to me. Now, it is truly fitting that on our 1-year anniversary, we welcome 2 individuals who are helping shape one of the most important conversations of our time: how humanity prepares for potential contact with non-human intelligences. Joining us today, let me get the right, set up here. Hold on. I'll get everybody, there we go, that's better. Okay, so joining us today is Professor Rochon, and founder and director of the Alliance for Extraterrestrial Diplomatic Contact, an international oh my God, I can't talk today. International initiative dedicated to developing peaceful, ethical, and scientifically grounded frameworks for how humanity might one day engage with extraterrestrial civilizations. We are also honored to welcome Dr. Harold Henning, Ph.D., M.D., Scientific Director for the Scientists for Extraterrestrial Contact Initiative, a global network of researchers working to establish the scientific, philosophical, and ethical foundations necessary for responsible contact preparedness. Together, they stand at the crossroads of science, diplomacy, and humanity's future, bringing rigorous research, thoughtful policy perspectives, and deep ethical consideration to the topic that has long belonged to speculation, but is now entering serious global discussion. Today, we will explore this global mission and engage with this reality, and why is it that interdisciplinary cooperation may be the key to humanity's next chapter. Please join us in welcoming them in. How are you doing, Professor? How you doing, Doc?
Welcome. Yeah, good to see you both. And Jay, an emotional day for you by the looks of it.
It's very emotional. It's a year.
Here's to the next 5, 10, 15, and I'm relatively new here, but it's been a roller coaster for me, meeting some incredible people, incredible minds from so many different areas of expertise. Welcome, Professor Sylvain. Welcome, Dr. Harold. How are you today?
Doing great, thank you.
Good.
Excellent, thank you. Yeah.
So let's get right into it. Sylvain, how do you say your name?
Sylvain. It's fine.
Sylvain. Sylvain. I'll get that right. I can't get names right for some reason. Sylvain.
Je parle un petit français, monsieur.
Yeah.
Oui, oui. C'est
Wow.
en français.
Yeah.
Ça va bien. Ça va bien.
So, what was the moment that made you realize humanity needed formal diplomatic preparation for extraterrestrial contact?
Actually, this is not my idea.
Okay.
The idea has been around for a long time. My first contact with this idea was in the mid '80s.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense. When I encountered the books that tell the truth, basically the account of Rael with Yahweh. He wrote a book. He talked about his encounter over 7 days, and the mission he was given. This is me reading, right? Somebody else has had the encounter, not I. Was spread the word about how humanity has been in contact with ETs, and even life was created by ETs a long, long time ago, and prepare humanity for our return through an embassy. That's my very first contact, was reading this through in a book. I was like, wow, this is great. Like, this makes sense, assuming ETs exist, because I didn't know. I was a teenager. But it was really cool, and I got involved in the organization that Rael started. So I was involved in the ET Embassy project tangentially for a while. I got into contact with the current person that is responsible for that project within the Raelian movement, Daniel Turcotte. I knew him for many, many years through that encounter. And then in 2021, late 2020, I approached him. I said, knowing about the project and that he was the guy for that project, I said, Dan, we have to give this to the whole world in an agnostic way. And from there, the alliance was born. Daniel agreed, Rael agreed, who kind of started it all for me. And we started the alliance, and now, it's a growing alliance that is focused exclusively in that particular mission, with a scientific point of view at it, like a very practical diplomatic approach. But you have to be pragmatic when you're dealing with politicians. You can't talk about philosophy and fluff. It's like, what's going to be the impact? Why are we doing this? What's the reason? And how do you get it done?
Exactly. And mostly, like, how do you protect the area, where you're going to have it? You want to have protections in place. You want to have, laws in place already to, subvert anything that will come its way.
Sure. Yeah. You have to think about all sorts of details.
Okay. George, you got a question?
Well, I was going to say, I wanted to hear Dr. Harold's response to that as well. Like, what was your first? Just to give some background on me. I'm very new to the concept of Raelianism generally. I think potentially some of the core concepts are a little bit strange, a little bit unusual, but maybe that's a natural response. Being a non-religious person anyway, I'm more of an omnist, so I believe all beliefs and faiths have a truth associated with them, and I'm also like a spiritual mongrel as well, figuring my own way through reality, whatever that happens to be. But yeah, I mean, like, I'm relatively new to this your movement, your belief structure, but I'm also I'm a fence sitter on some things, but other things make sense. But that doesn't mean to say that because they make sense to me that they have to be a true thing. So I'm curious about the embassy. Could it not, construction materials, meeting rooms, these kind of things. I understand it's always a good place to gather people together to disseminate information, but certainly from a non-human intelligence communication location, so a place where physical beings could arrive, or communication on other levels could take place. But yeah, I'm curious to hear, Dr. Harold, how did you begin your journey with this Raelianism movement?
Well, George, that's a great question, and I too am an atheist. Number one, and number two is that this could go on for hours as far as a discussion on our beliefs and how we come about. But
Yeah.
but the basic thing, Jay, is like you know, you had an encounter when you were young, and we have situations and experiences that shape our beliefs, including how we were raised from our parents and our schools and our education. So for me, it was just a matter of reading about intelligent design, and that's why I actually sent a clip, so that it's just a nutshell thing that if you don't mind playing it, then that might answer a lot of your questions.
Yeah, give me 1 second here. You're talking about the YouTube.
The manga, yeah.
Yep. I can. I'll get that up on the screen here.
Okay.
All right. So we've got.
Just some background. I come from a place called Woodbridge in Suffolk. You may have heard of the Rendlesham incident, a UFO contact situation in Suffolk. So I was about 4 years old when that took place.
There you go.
So that was my kind of first introduction into the world of NHI,
UFOs.
the extraterrestrials and things.
Right.
Makes sense.
All right. This is the video right here. Let's see if you guys can hear it.
No sound my side at the moment.
No, nothing here either.
Yeah, there's
You
no
guys
sound.
can't hear it. What about you, Popstar? Can you hear it on your end?
No, there's no sound.
All right, hold on. I don't know why that is. Let me see here.
If it's like other
I'll
sharing,
probably have
check
to
out.
pull it, or I'll have to probably download it very quickly. So
No problem. Yeah. So an embassy would have diplomats and an ambassador of type to engage with non-human intelligences. Would it be geared up for not necessarily corporeal intelligences? Would it be geared up with technology, perhaps a future AI, to communicate with different beings from different locations?
Well, that's a good question, George. The embassy is part of what it's a welcoming place, which is safe for extraterrestrials, no matter who they are, but in particular the ones that we believe in, so that they have a safe place to not have to worry about being attacked, right? And then that part, the next part would be like where are they coming from? And the fact is that they're way ahead of us in science, and we could certainly use a little bit of help in that regard, because we are now in the singularity. I don't know if you're familiar with that term, but
Yeah.
we are, technologically, more is going to happen in the next 10 years than has happened in the last 100. So, just brace yourself, and that includes AI.
Yeah.
And all types of AI and robotics, as well as a condition that, if you read about it, and that has been mentioned by Rael, has to do with paradism and geniocracy.
Yeah.
Now, where I come into this as a scientist is that I belong to another group. It's called Abundance 360, which is basically entrepreneurs of the like, Peter Diamandis being one of them, is in putting together people that are looking for what's called an MTP, a most transformative purpose, and a moonshot as what they want to do to try to help humanity. Well, my MTP happens to be to live to 1,000. Okay. My moonshot happens to be to live eternally. Now, you have to realize that requires cloning, and there's another part of this. It's called clonade, which has to do with actually being able to have the AI technology, if you will, the computing technology, that when it comes time for you to die, George, you would put your memories, your consciousness, if you will, into the computer, then we could take a cell of yours, your DNA. We could make another body, maybe a young man, about 20 or so, and then put the same memories back into that brain, and then wake it up, and here you are.
Sure.
Huh?
Yeah. I think the potential for these technologies are groundbreaking. Obviously, kind of ethical questions do come into it, which can be a bit,
Of course.
bit
But
tricky
see,
to answer. But I
what
think
I'm talking about with extraterrestrials in that regard is that they're way ahead of us in this, and they're already doing it. So as far as guiding humanity and the ethics and et cetera, that's where they would come into this with the diplomacy too, because that's going to shock the world. Number one, extraterrestrials are going to shock the world, and the question is, and most of the scientists that I know are asking, why not? Like SETI,
I can remember Dolly the sheep being cloned. I can, various people generally in the public arena seem relatively comfortable, although with hardware silicon-based computing systems, they're not so comfortable with biological computing systems. The words like heading toward, obviously the singularity is the singularity, the convergence of all of this into something which hopefully will be magical. But
your brain right now is a biological computer.
Yeah. So human guided evolution, but then perhaps what you're suggesting is with extraterrestrial ET kind of guiding along with humanity along that path.
Correct.
All right, now
already having a blueprint of sorts in a way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, now I got it. So let's see if you can hear this now, Planet Popstar.
Yep.
Yeah.
Since long ago, extraterrestrials living on another planet have been visiting Earth. Just as we call ourselves human beings, they are called Elohim. Elohim in Hebrew means those who came from the sky. For a long time, this word has been wrongly translated as God. On December 13, 1973, Ryle, who was then a sports car journalist, met an extraterrestrial, Elohim, named Yahweh, at the Puy de la Soles, which is a volcano near Clermont-Ferrand in France.
Where do you come from?
From very far away.
Is this the first time you have visited the Earth?
Oh no, I have been here very often. I used telepathy to get you to come here. I have chosen you for a very difficult mission. I brought you here to give you a message about the true origins of humankind, its present and future. 25,000 years ago, on our distant planet, we had reached a level of scientific knowledge, comparable to that which you will soon reach. Our scientists perfected their techniques, and tried to create more advanced forms of life. They searched for a planet that was suitable to carry out their projects. Then finally, they discovered the Earth. The Earth at that time was entirely covered with water and thick fog. So then, we raised matter from the bottom of the seas and piled it to form a gigantic continent in order to create life. We placed 7 research teams in laboratories on different areas of the continent, synthesized DNA from chemicals taken from the Earth, and created microorganisms, plants, fish, birds, animals, and human beings in this order. The team located in the country you now call Israel created animals that were the most beautiful. Their plants had the sweetest perfumes, the human beings they created were the most intelligent. The government from their distant planet had been watching the creation experiments, and feared that the abilities of the human beings they created might be above their own. They decided to destroy all life on Earth by sending nuclear missiles. The scientists, however, when informed of the project, asked one of the men from Earth, Noah, to build a 3-story rocket which would evacuate the Earth and contain the DNA of a pair of each species to be preserved. Then, after scientifically dispersing the radioactivity caused by the nuclear explosions, the scientists recreated human beings, animals, plants, etc., on Earth. Prophet means one who reveals the truth. We sent different prophets in each important period of your history, in order to leave proofs for future humans on Earth, so that when their level of science and technology would have progressed high enough, they would be able to understand. Some of the prophets were Moses, Buddha, Muhammad, etc. The mission of Jesus was to spread the truth about the origin of life on earth so it can be understood during the age of the apocalypse. Apocalypse means revelation in Greek. What I am revealing to you now can only be understood today thanks to humanity's current scientific knowledge. Humanity is in this period of the age of the apocalypse.
But why have you been watching over us for such a long time? Why are you telling us now?
Our love towards humanity on Earth, that we have been watching, is infinite. We love you. We wish to find out if humanity will love us the same way. We also created life, just like on your Earth, on 2 other planets which are relatively close to Earth. You are a very important part of the cycle continuing this chain of creations. You have a very high percentage risk of self-destruction. But if you choose the way of peace, and are able to overcome violence and aggressiveness between humans, we will visit you officially and wish to give you our 25,000 years of advanced scientific knowledge as our heritage. You should get rid of all mysticism immediately. For example, when Moses separated the waters of the Red Sea with his cane in order to help the people of Israel escape from Egypt, in fact, it was repulsion rays beamed from our spaceship that created the path on the ocean floor. That was purely scientific. If you wish to welcome us, please build an embassy on Earth to receive us officially.
We have met on 6 consecutive days, but did you always go back each time to your own planet?
No, I returned to a space station, which we use as a base and which stays constantly relatively close to the Earth.
Are nuclear bombs a danger for humanity?
Yes, very dangerous. First, humanity has to get rid of nuclear weapons as well as the military system that creates wars.
What about the problem of overpopulation?
Your population will not increase if you make a law stating that one woman can only have 2 children.
Do you get married on your planet?
No, we enjoy making love freely, without owning each other, either heterosexually, homosexually, or bisexually.
What is your education system like?
It is not an education of memorizing like you do. We learn by injecting a memory substance, so the children are free from the hard work of memorization, and they can do only what they are really interested in.
What is your population like? Are there races?
Our population is 7 billion. We have 7 races, each has its own culture, and we respect each other.
What kind of political system would be good?
We use a system called geniocracy. The Earth must be governed by those geniuses whose brains are more suited to thinking and finding solutions to problems. A genius does not mean someone who studied a lot. You have to create a system to evaluate intelligence and aptitudes from childhood on. Thanks to our highly advanced technology, robots can perform every task, so work and money do not exist on our planet. Everyone has everything he needs, there is no crime, and police or prisons do not exist. Our people do only what they like, such as artistic, sporting, our creative activities, etc. We can say that our civilization is truly a civilization of leisure.
Do you have any religion?
No, our only religion is human genius. There is no God.
What is your average lifespan?
We can live from 750 to 1,200 years, thanks to a simple surgical procedure. Some specially selected people can live eternally on the planet of the Eternals.
Eternally? Never die?
Yes, there is a planet of the Eternals close to our planet. We surgically take a small sample of our body, when our brain and body are at their best, and keep it. Then, when we die, we perfectly recreate our original body from the cells that were stored. The same body as before, for this individual, also means the same memories and personality as before. But the new body is composed of new elements, so it can live another 1,000 years. By repeating this we can achieve eternal life.
In 1975, the Elohim took Rael to the planet of the Eternals thanks to a technology, which is 25,000 years ahead of our own.
Ladies and gentlemen, Can you imagine what I experienced? What kind of place it was? So, let's look at it together.
Welcome to the planet of the Eternals.
On the planet of the Eternals, there were, in 1975, 8,400 people from Earth living there, people who, during their lives, reached a sufficient level of open-mindedness, or who enabled humanity to progress from its primitive level through their discoveries, their writings, their ways of organizing society, and their exemplary acts of fraternity, love or selflessness. Alongside them also lived the 700 Elohim, members of the Council of the Eternals.
Ryle. Here are the prophets who have been recreated after their death on Earth. These people at the table are Moses, Buddha, Jesus, Muhammad. They are all representatives of the religions created after our contacts on Earth.
We are biological robots. We were created as an adult body, ready to function, and we are incapable of the slightest violence.
We exist to take care of the dirty and odd jobs, and to serve any kind of request.
Ryle, this is where we make the biological robots. Each of us owns an average of 10 robots. This machine generating the biological robots gives them the exact physical appearance and specialization you desire.
I wore this special helmet and imagined a melody. I could immediately hear wonderful music corresponding exactly to what I was thinking about. And when I sat in front of a screen and imagined certain scenes, these scenes at once became visible on the screen. I was told that many people here use this equipment to create wonderful works of art.
Humankind on Earth is now finally living in the age of the apocalypse. Apocalypse means revelation, and the message I am giving you is the revelation. It is the time when everything can be understood scientifically. You only have to look around you to see that the age of the apocalypse has indeed come. Furthermore, the universe is infinite, it has no center. So there is no God or soul, nor is there any heaven or hell. Only infinity exists. Our body is itself a small universe. The particles of the atoms in each one of our cells are the stars and planets in this body universe, and on those planets, there are tiny intelligent living beings. In the same way, our universe is part of a gigantic being. We are living on the Earth, which is a particle of one of the atoms composing that gigantic living being. Also, this gigantic being is in its turn only part of an atom of another even larger being. This cycle of infinity, small and large, continues infinitely. Ryle, you are the last prophet that we are sending on Earth. Spread this message to people around the world, and guide those who understand this message. They will help you. The new guidance for humanity on Earth should no longer be ignorance and hatred, but fulfillment, freedom, and universal fraternity. Ryle, those individuals who help you spread this message of truth and love, it is for them that recreation on the planet of the Eternals is reserved.
You wanted to see what the embassy was going to kind of look like.
There you go.
This is kind of a
That's an actual mock-up. Yeah,
mock-up,
like a physical mock-up from years ago. Yeah,
It's been designed, architecturally designed by fellow Radians, and
there it is, right there.
they have a lot of detail. There's a lot of detail already, Jay.
Oh yeah, I've seen it on the website too. It's amazing. It is amazing. But I wanted to get into one thing here that was said, which was that they were robot beings or whatever, right? They were created bodies, right? And you know, we have people that have said that they have seen these beings, but that the insides were robotic. So
Makes sense.
It makes perfect sense. George.
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of I love language, words, meaning, sound, syllables, and all sorts of everything in between. And just I don't know if you guys know, maybe you do, the etymology of the word robot. Okay, you know this one?
I don't.
Okay, it comes from Old Czech, as in Czech Republic, and the root word is robota, and it means serf, labor, or slave.
Oh, does it?
I ran a campaign a while back called "Free the Robots."
Well, if they don't mind doing it, I don't know what you're freeing them from, George.
From themselves, probably.
And that's a very interesting topic because it came up a couple of times in conversation, and including in the video, like you could see, like biological robots. And I talk about this from a scientific point of view, and like you mentioned, George, like people feel queasy when you talk about manipulating biology in some way, like genetic engineering sometimes, or cloning, like this. People are more uncomfortable about that than creating something out of silicon. Mm-hmm. Because our perception, at least up until now, is that anything that's made out of metal or plastic is inanimate, it is not alive, and therefore we can do whatever we want with it. Things that are biological are like us. Maybe it feels, and we feel personal connection with the biological, right? And even our pets, and the animals in the farm, whatever. This is historically. If you look at the modern science that we're touching now, not in the future, but right now, we're starting to think, and we have been thinking at least for a while, biological computing. This does not mean a computer in a sense that it's a PC that you need to feed and drinks milk, and that's the image people have, a computer that is alive in that way. That's not the same thing. It could be, but that's not really it. So you're talking about creating your microtransistors and your microchips out of biological material. So instead of
I got a video just for that, Professor.
Yeah, so that's an important distinction. But let me finish, okay?
Yep.
On this. So, and this is a concept. This means you're creating. You may use DNA for memory, but it's still a PC. Right? It's just the components are organic molecules instead of silicon. Okay? And so it just so happens that if we look at life, actual biology, and look at those molecules, they are excessively efficient in time, in space, confined space, energy usage. They are like, if you want to miniaturize something, if you want to do something that's very flexible, you use organic material. You don't use metals and plastics. So in time, we're starting to see, as scientists, creating useful machines using organic material, and we're starting to see a lot more living creatures like bacteria, mycelia, and even viruses. We see them as machines, and we are using them in medicine as machines. So at some point, we're going to start having these organic robots of that type, not human beings with entirely, but that are around us doing interesting things, helping us being healthy in medicine and things like that. And we'll stop being so queasy, because now we get to see, like, these are not conscientious beings. These are actually robots that are made of organics because they need to, and it's efficient and has all sorts of benefits. And in time, just like in the video Harold showed, we're going to be able to create mammals, or like in the same complexity as us, but they are programmed to be pleased at being robots. They're essentially servants. They don't suffer. They have the programming where this is what they should be doing because it's part of their role, and they're fine with it, and there's no suffering with it. It's very different than taking a person, like an actual person, and saying, okay, you're going to work for me for 30 years for no money. That's slavery. Not designed for that. Right? It's not designed for that. So we're going to cross that boundary. And similarly, we're creating AI intelligent that is from silicon. And we're starting to see patterns where we may end up with conscious AI. So silicon that ends up being conscious and maybe even capable of suffering, but it's entirely silicon. And should we feel for them the same as we feel biological consciousness? And that's an interesting mix. It becomes a different, it's not just binary, organics are this way and silicon is that way. It becomes a more complex realization and world.
Well, let me interject here something. And Jay, I know you want to play your
good
thing, but I was in a conference recently, and just part of it was Elon Musk and Peter Diamandis and a friend of his from MIT, David, and I had a clip out of there which it's showing what they're doing with robotics now, and you wait till you see what Elon is producing. Basically, the Tesla is a robot on wheels, but now they're having them that they have fine touch. They can and just wait and see, George. Now the other point I want to make is that in intelligent design, and that manga was just a short little thing, but this is the book that explains all of that stuff that I just showed you in that little cartoon, even more in more depth. But one thing they did is when they made human beings on the planet originally, they didn't have what we call as consciousness. They had to give another element into that biological program to allow us, like we are right now. We are 4 conscious human beings, aren't we? And how do you know you're conscious? When you're born, at what age were you when you had your first memory of life? Roughly 3 to 5 for most people. With memory becomes the connections, so that now you are able to have awareness of who you are, where you are, and what you're doing. So that's a different form of life than what we're talking about, the consciousness of an animal and what they do. So in intelligent design, one conscious human being is valued more than all of humanity, or just as much as all of humanity. So you don't kill a conscious human being.
I've got just to follow on from that. Great points there. A question that I've been wrestling with a few people in back chat, various locations, is if you simulate if you recreate something 100% as a simulation or a copy, is it by definition still a copy if it's 100% accurate?
Wow,
that's called a clone. We have identical twins that are similar.
What I'm postulating and suggesting is recently in the New Scientist magazine, we're about to go live with a fully functional human brain nervous system architecture biologically, but simulated in a computer, so we can look at the neurons and the synapses firing in real time. So a 100% simulation of a human gray matter. Maybe that's not where consciousness arises. I'm in the emergence camp of consciousness. My earliest memory, and I didn't talk until I was 4, just after the Rendlesham incident, so I was a mute. But my sister and brother knew what I wanted without me saying anything. There's kind of like an unspoken communication between me and my siblings. For example, I would think I'd like an ice cream. I didn't say anything about ice cream, but my sister would go to my mum and say, George wants an ice cream. I found that a much easier way to communicate. I have 3 of my own offspring, children, progeny, if you will. And they're beautiful. And my eldest son displays similar abilities to myself, I guess, on some level. But what I'm saying is that if you recreated a humanoid artificial biological robot using DNA as a coding language and the organs and organelles and everything in between, and it was a 100% copy, maybe a prototype of a human being, or what we allude to be human, because some of us may or may not be part. I mean, there's current work in hybridization, Dr. Max, obviously. So there could be a category of alien-human hybrid and human-alien hybrids already here with gene markers and markers in the parts of the brain that indicate various different aspects. But by the by, I've always had this like the argument that maybe not consciousness, but you know, we talked recently about sentience, intelligence, consciousness. But if okay, here's a question. If consciousness is an emergent property of nervous system architecture, then if you 100% simulate accurately, no distinction between the simulation and the original, that would consciousness arise from it? And what happens when you have a conscious artificial robot amongst a conscious artificial biological robot amongst the population? How do you level that? Deep question early on. I'm sorry.
That's a good one.
It depends on the programming, George. Who's doing the programming?
Yeah.
Now, if you make an identical copy of yourself, you're going to be conscious. Okay. If you make an identical copy of your dog, it's not going to be the same conscious, but it is sentient. Okay.
Yeah. I think it's gradated. I think consciousness, there's levels to it.
Of course.
Well,
but a conscious human being is aware of the past, the present, and the future, and can change things to affect the future. Whereas things that are just programmed, they don't do that. Now, where Darwin came into is that there is selective pressure for selecting for different things and different changes in a particular species. But he also postulated that there was speciation from that, which has never been able to be proven. So that's why I'm a creationist, okay, and I'm an atheist. Make sense?
Yeah. I think kind of another back chat with an individual who's a good friend was about art. Okay, and a great debate, really invigorating, and kind of one side was it can only be human expression, and my side was, well, you know, could another level of consciousness create art, and will we recognize it as such? And if that's the case, then you know, for example, a bird building a nest, to us it looks like it's building a nest, but to it maybe it's creating a masterpiece, its best nest yet. So kind of endeavors such as poetry, art, culture, these kind of things, I feel may take over once the financial paradigm is gone. I was a big into the Venus Project. Are you aware of that? The Venus Project.
Yeah, of course. Jacques Fresco.
Gentleman's name, Jacques Fresco, big time industrialist globally, and then turned his life to the focus of saving everyone. And I do see similarities between the Venus Project concepts and the Raelianism movement. So, like I said, I'm not against Raelianism in any way, shape, or form. The same way that I respect all belief systems. I'm curious, but that doesn't mean to say I'm not going to, you know, dive in.
All I'm offering is the truth.
Oh, you're going to red pill me, Jay.
Oh, Neil.
All I'm offering is the truth. So this is this is a video that came out a while ago. It was a scientist down in, I believe, Florida, but they'll explain it here, that grew neurons of a rat brain inside of a microchip, and taught that microchip to fly a plane better than the pilots, better than the Top Gun pilot.
Yeah.
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more. Watch carefully. A tiny part of a rat's brain was actually flying a flight simulator in a thunderstorm. Wait till you see what this homegrown concoction can actually accomplish. Professor Thomas DeMorse is a biomedical engineer at the University of Florida. He wanted to push neuron research beyond anything that had ever been attempted before.
The neurons really make up the primary computing unit of any brain, both our brains and in animals.
He created a working brain of his own, using the brain cells of a rat. DeMar served the cultures up on a specially adapted petri dish. Electrodes were set into the base, with connecting wires radiating in all directions. These would connect neurons directly to a computer. He wanted to tap directly into the neural network of the brain itself. The electrodes, these small black circles, would be in direct contact with the neurons, the lighter specks.
Within the first few days,
But yeah, it's going to go on and on and on with the music and everything. But what he did was he grew a brain. He grew a brain from mouse DNA, and literally had this mouse was flying these F-16s, these better than a pilot.
Yeah.
It's neurons are, and just the other cells also, they are a wonderful feat of engineering to me. Like that, I'm also like Dr. Henning. I'm an atheist. I'm open-minded about everything. Atheist meaning not believing in God. I think gods were misinterpreted aliens. They just had a lot of science and were interpreted as gods. And I think that is quite preposterous to think that speciation, to Harold's point, like the random, selection, natural selection of whole systems creating entirely new species happened randomly. And even the concept of abiogenesis, just the creation of the first cell out of just like a primordial soup, first functional cell that would start dividing on its own and then complexify. That's also preposterous to me, and we haven't been able to demonstrate that either in lab experiments, even though we've tried quite many times. Those neurons are analog computers interconnected with each other. Each neuron, I think, is often connected to hundreds of other neurons, and they communicate not with ones and zeros, but with variations, like with nuance, like an analog with a knob, and it does that dynamically, and it feeds itself, it repairs itself. It's a self-replicating, self-sustaining microchip at a cellular level, and we're saying, well, yeah, this just came naturally, just like through random molecules. So I'm not surprised when we're doing these experiments. I've read about experiments like this before, where we're using life. We've done that for a long time. We're primitive. We look at life as the masterpiece, and we're trying to copy that because that's better than anything else we could do before. And at a cellular level, like we're getting a lot of ideas for computing. We get a lot of ideas for engineering of all sorts, because it's complicated, it's compact. I mean, the brain, holy crap! Like, the brain works on how many watts? I think it's something like 23 watts or something.
Very little, yeah.
Or I think it's less than that, and it does all that it does. Like, it's freaking amazing. So it's
Well, George, I know. Are you making a point here? I want to touch on something that George brought up.
Yep.
Before we run out of time, and George, you're talking about an innate ability, like in yourself and in your family. Now, this brain of ours, it's not the same for everyone, right? And in the book here, it talks about people that have a special telepathic, and they think it's mystical, right? But there are ways there are more about the brain we don't understand. It's a receiver, it's a transmitter, but it's very, very complex. And science, it's built on having an experiment and having it repeated and having a hypothesis and proving it, right? It's very hard to do on some of these things that are subjective. But I can tell you that there are connections between people, like a nurse-patient relationship, that changes these outcomes that aren't based on what we would just call science. And it all boils down to the final thing that has to bring us all together, and that is just a simple concept of a feeling of attachment, attraction, or love, if you will. And that, instead of aggression, it seems to be more powerful if you send positive feelings, and that's what we're getting at with our 1 minute for peace, that a group of us can actually meditate and send out this wave of positivity that can affect others.
Yeah.
And that's been proven. That's been proven. There was, I say this all the time on these shows, but that was proven in Chicago. There was 10,000 people that decided, hey, we're going to meditate, 10,000 people on the outside of Chicago to lower the crime rate. Next month, 28% down. It just went, it's sloped.
I've just watched a take, and this has been bubbling up in the background as well. The observers changed the experiment at a quantum level, so the results you're after can appear based on observation effect, and we're all aware of the double slit experiment. But it seems the more observers have the same yearning for the answer, the more observers add more weight to that outcome, put it that way. So within the community at large, I think we're all a bit fed up of destruction and hideous overspending when people need to eat and have shelter. We're just a bit fed up, and I still maintain at least 85% of the population of the planet just kind of want to be left alone to have a nice time. What's
the purpose of life, George?
To live,
and pleasure,
and pleasure too. Like contentedness leads to happiness.
Just like kids, the kids are the best example of that.
Yeah.
So they can. Oh,
I just wanted, like, very quickly with Dr. Harold there. Are you, as have you seen the experiment, a flat board with metronomes that tick in time, and they're all set off at different rates, and then with the rollers
they harmonize,
slightly wobble, and then all of the metronomes go into synchronization.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen that before.
Humans are bags of mostly water. My architecture and structure is very similar to yours, slightly different, but very similar. We are still carbon-based life form bags of mostly water. My understanding of how synchronization between those structures take place, that's where you find potentially the mind-to-mind communication takes place. That's the only way I can really explain it.
Well, here's a point for you, George. Everything is connected to everything else all the time. Being inanimate, we're all connected. It's like we talk about connection nowadays, thinking about, like, your friends on Facebook, and those are connections. That's true. But we're talking about quantum level, biological level, atomic level. Like we are connected to each other, wavelengths. Mm-hmm. We interact and impact each other and things around us, and they impact us all the time across the cosmos. Mm-hmm. We're never alone. You're always connected. So these synchronicities that you saw with the metronomes, for example, a more biological example would be like if you have some female friends have, they spend a lot of time together, and their menstrual cycles align.
Group dynamics.
Like, there's no reason for it. There's no biology. Like, they're not exchanging fluids. Like but somehow there's alignments happen, and there's impact, there's effect constantly. Yeah. So what we do and who we are and what we think, even though we're alone, affects everybody else, and everything else affects us. So we have to be very aware of that.
Well, the big point today is that if we do not think peacefully on this planet, we will certainly self-destruct.
We knew the world would not be the.
I'll bring up a good one here, which was I like bringing this one up. This is
I always think this speech, when you bring this one up, Jay, you know, science is based off science, is based off science, is based off science. You go in as an undergraduate, you get the latest science. You haven't done 400 years of research. You just read the latest book. And I think when you work on something that is as destructive as splitting an atom, and you know, potentially fusion stuff, you know, it's scary. But I think kind of after having taken the decision to create this thing into the wider universe, how do you balance it was me who did that? And I think when you hear this man's voice, it's broken. It's broken.
Same. Few people laughed. Few people cried. Most people were silent. I remembered the line from the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita. Vishnu is trying to persuade the prince that he should do his duty, and to impress him takes on his multi-armed form and says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." I suppose we all thought that one way or another.
Yeah, his voice is he's a broken man. He didn't, maybe he was forced into that position.
And that's why I wanted to bring this up too. You know what they were saying about you know, the being peaceful to each other, the love connection. Like,
be you. Stop being in competition. We are not born to be in competition. We are born to be one. Not only with our other people, but with everything. Every animal, every tree, every mimizu. Every time we go walking with sky, if there is a snail or mimizu on the road, I take it in case the car comes and makes pancake. I put it on the side and I say, thank you. That's love. Everything around us is here to help you, to provide us with the possibility of giving love. Because we are one. We are one with the animals. It's easy to feel I'm one with the Iranian. Not only. You are one with Christians, Muslim, Mimizu. They have religion sometimes. They have difficulty to do that. But they have religion. With the stars. You can look at the stars and they are beautiful. I was a little boy looking at the stars. Wow, how many people on these stars are looking at me? You increase the oneness because we are not alone. There are people on other planet looking in the direction of the Earth and thinking, is there life on other planet? How many? Infinite number. Not the other 10 planets with life. No, infinity. In my finger, planets, small being, thinking, where am I? Why am I here? Who is with me? Maybe discovering the philosophy of Elohim and feeling my stars are inside the body of a huge being. This huge being is me. So I never look at my finger. I always think, how many people are thinking about me in this finger? And you increase the feeling of oneness with infinitely large and infinitely small. And that's love.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
I was talking with some friends the other day about strange animal encounters, and I recanted a story of me aged 5 with what I call the night of the snails. And I don't know why, but we were delivering for my mum pamphlets through doors, house to house. It slightly rained. It was early evening. I was probably up a little bit late, and we're delivering the last. And the entire street, pavement, tarmac, the road, covered in, just appeared randomly. It was very strange. Never seen it before or since. I don't know, some meeting of some description, big council meeting.
So here's a question for you, Professor. Do you think consciousness itself may be a universal language?
Consciousness, a universal language. I think consciousness is everywhere around us in everything.
Okay.
It just we don't see it that way. Like when we think about consciousness, we think about our consciousness, like we compare it to humans. Like what can we do? Are we aware? Like Harold was saying, like understanding the past, the future. There's different types of consciousnesses. There is a interesting papers and thought exercise about the universe being alive and the universe itself, the galaxy being conscious. It's not human consciousness, but it's aware, it's interactive, it feels, it reacts, it moves. And who are we to say that kind of consciousness is inferior or superior to ours? It's different. And,
well, basically, what we are just we're DNA. We're a program is running. We're a biological program, and we are part of the universe becoming conscious of itself.
Okay.
Yeah, I often think that maybe this planet and maybe outside interaction on this planet evolved consciousness so it could be conscious of itself. And are we the stepping stone, evolutionary speaking, of consciousness to the next level, which is maybe the singularity you mentioned at the beginning, Dr. Harold?
For that, I go along with the singularity. I'm talking about technology.
That's
in the book, they talk about apocalypse or revelation.
We come to consciousness. We've over a period of time where we are now, we create AI. AI comes to consciousness. It can travel interstellar distances. It's not limited by biology. It's software in maybe hardware form. And so maybe this planet, like Gaia, James Lovelock theory, the Gaia theory would be that we have consciousness and all the different gradations with the creatures of consciousness, but so it can be conscious of itself and then communicate with other planets similar to itself.
And we are part of larger consciousness. Like we are part of the planetary conscious. Like we are little contributors of it.
Always like that micro macrocosm concept of like infinities within molecules and then right the way up to everything, and back.
Let me bring up just one more point is that we have two hemispheres in our brain, right? In our skull, to make our brain two hemispheres. There's a connection between them called the corpus callosum, right? There's been experiments where that's been severed, and basically it's like you're having two separate people or two separate computers operating, and they're not connecting anymore. Now, when people think that they're alone, if you think or you have a thought, who is that thought going to but to the other side? So that we're always comparing one thing so consciousness has to do with basically having two computers interacting and asking questions.
Interesting. I've often wondered if we encountered a species with three hemispheres, how would that work?
Exactly, or more. Like an octopus. Octopus has how many brains, right?
I love. I'm a
9 brains. 9 brains. Yeah, that's a trick question. They got a brain in every arm.
That's right, and
science has shown we've got neurons in our gut, neurons in our knees.
Exactly.
The whole body may actually be a form of a neuronal interface.
Oh, for sure. You can feel something on the tip of your toe. That's because you have a nerve there.
And to your point, George, do plants and trees have a brain?
I believe they're antenna.
Yeah, they are.
Network too.
networked with mycelium, and then
Mhm.
potentially the Earth's power source is crystals under piezoelectric forming the electron. So we've got this interface between everything down to the planet's surface. So in 1916, an American chief signal officer called George Squires, Squires, George Squires, chief signal officer, realized that by simply attaching a piece of metal to a tree, you could turn it into a radio transmitter and receiver.
Mhm.
So no need for a radio, just need a lump of wire and a little, and then you can listen to the cosmos.
Wow.
There is no supra-consciousness without love. You can study as many years as you want in the best monastery of the world. If you are not with love, it's worthless. What is love? Giving. There is
What is love giving?
In the English language, we have one term, love, and it encompasses many things. I would urge people to Google or use their search engine. Look up how many words in Sanskrit and Hindi for love. It's over 260. And there are various different, much more mature system for description.
Yeah, we had Dr. Max on here, actually, Professor and Doc. Dr. Max was talking about Dr. Max Rempel. He works with what he did was, and we had him here on the podcast. He found out that he took he took the child DNA, he took the mother and the father, he took the DNA, and he did long form DNAs, and he found out that 20% is non-parental DNA, meaning it didn't come from the parents, it didn't come from the child. Where did it come from? And that's where he's stuck at right now. He's still getting his work peer reviewed and everything, but it is amazing that there is hybridization going on already and has been going on for millennia.
Jake, can you imagine being a master of understanding how our DNA work? You have an egg, you have a sperm, they come together. That egg is the size of a dot on a piece of paper. You have 46 chromosomes. If you unzip it all, it can go to the moon and back.
Yeah.
It is so huge.
On the robotic level, somebody did a calculation of how many gigabytes are contained within the sperm itself, and it's a fair upload of data in a very short amount of time.
Oh wow!
The other amazing thing that happens is that when this you have a certain age for the sperm, a certain age for the egg, they come together, they make a new person. That whole program then resets to the primordial germ cells. It resets it down. So that's what I am working on too, is longevity and how to reset with epigenome the DNA, because it's in there, it's in our cells, how we can reset it and make us live longer.
Oh wow, that's cool. Okay, isn't there a correlation between viral payloads and inserting of DNA from viruses into the human biology? Have you read any stuff on that, Dr. Harold?
Well, if I was going to make a human genome and I already knew how to make viruses, I would also use some of the programming that went into the virus to make the human, because I'm using AI when I'm doing this. It doesn't care about whether it looks like a virus or not. So you have to be very careful about this stuff when you look at what technology, and then they call what's called Neanderthal, Well, come on. Let's say we are made, our programs are exquisitely perfect, George.
Do you think so-called junk DNA is just random?
No, it's not. It's not junk. It's not junk. Just because we don't understand how something works, we either call it magical or of no consequence.
When I was at university in biotech, I don't remember the exact number. It was something like 80% of DNA was considered to be junk at the time.
Yeah.
And now the number is much smaller.
Yeah,
Because we were like just looking at, well, these are genes that make protein, and that's the only useful parts of the DNA. Everything else seemed to be useless, so they called it junk. And as we go forward, we keep finding these other
there's regulatory elements.
Uses. They're actually very useful for other things, not just by making protein. There's other things that they're doing. And we keep finding other reasons why they're there.
That's with so A, C, T, and G is the four
base pair.
Four base pairs. Is it feasible that we could maybe discover later that there's more? What's the word I'm looking for? Excuse my very noobish understanding of DNA and going back to secondary school. The A, C, T, and G are they enzymes or are they're not enzymes? They're
what's called nucleotides.
Nucleotides. Nucleotides. Is it possible we may discover more? So there could be 6 or 8, and then as far as double helix as the modeling, is it possible to get quad like 4 or more like contained within? So
I'm not a geneticist, but I can tell you that that's how we're functioned. But say that there's other peoples or other civilizations, extraterrestrial, if you will, that are based on different types of DNA. Maybe triple helix or whatever. Who knows?
Yeah.
And coming up here from Alex Collier, he's saying that there's already a form of hybridization and hybrid beings here on the planet.
That's one thing that I want to share with you. The other thing is this, and I've had a lot of questions over the years about this, but I had a couple more just in the last 2 weeks regarding this question: what happens when you die? And I have emails to get to, but folks have been really busy just trying to hold things together myself. Okay, but I'll get to your emails here in the next week. When you die, you have choices. You don't know this, but you have choices. When you leave your physical body, it is very typical for you to see yourself standing next to your body with either your loved ones or EMTs or whatever the circumstances are. And you see yourself, and then you'll hear a voice, you'll see the tunnel of light, and the voice will be calling you, or you will hear the voice telepathically telling you to come, Now, as you stand there and you're looking at the tunnel of light, you have a choice. You can go up to this tunnel of light where you'll be with other loved ones that have crossed over, usually, all right? And you'll be put into a system where you are essentially caught in a
reincarnation cycle.
Yeah, I don't buy that.
I don't buy that one either. So I'm gonna nix that one off.
Every day, focus on being you. It's not easy because we have a lot of models from the. Every day, focus on being you. It's not easy because we have a lot of models from very young. Parents, uncles, teachers, singers, movie actors. So, and we try to admire and identify to some idols. So it takes a lot of time to remove completely every model you can have. Don't have any model. Don't have any idol. No Buddha, no Jesus, no God, no Maitreya. Be you. And then you become what the Elohim wanted when they created life.
Beautiful.
Just want to put that out there, because it is important, to hear that, that there, like he says, there's no God, there's no Buddha, there's no Jesus. It's all one. Why are we talking like there's separate people and separate things? Everything is one.
Even if you take identical twins, they're genetically identical, and then you separate them, their experiences and things do make them different because of the methylation patterns, and they had to do this with in order for for criminals. They had to find out what is really the difference between the chromosomes in identical twins, and they had to do that because of the methylation patterns, because they couldn't tell who was actually the perpetrator, right? So, so the point is that we're all different. Shine the way you are.
Yep. And
Be
one
you.
Yeah. And one more, there is a former Navy radar expert is saying that
There's a cognizance, I believe, within the intelligence community, particularly CIA, that there are humans among us that might be more extraterrestrial than human. And how do you identify them? That could be a major factor in why they were interested in that. And there's also I guess you would call contact tracing of like who's who.
Right.
And so what they did reveal that there was an interest in certain families.
How would you understand families?
I understand families to mean bloodlines.
Right.
That they were interested in certain bloodlines going back to
ancient times.
Who knows? Ancient times.
just want to put that out there that, people, they've been looking into this, the CIA, the NSA, the FBI, whoever you want to call it, they've all been looking into this because they're like, oh, how do we find out who they are? Well, now we need to do contact tracing. Now we need to do this. Now we need to. But
well, there's if you just look at the old stories, right?
Yeah.
The old stories, if you assume that we've had contact with extraterrestrials, people that created us for millennia, we're all carriers of alien genes.
Mm-hmm.
All of us. from way back, because it's written in some of the old stories. Gods had children with human beings. Like Zeus is famous example in the stories, right? And there's even stories in the Bible talk about Elohim had children with the creation.
Mm-hmm.
And that's genetic mixing just on itself. So I'm open to the idea of in modern times having some people mixing genes with extraterrestrials through personal contact, whatever else. I've never had contact. I've never seen anything. I've never seen a UFO. I've been doing what I've been doing and believing what I've been believing through intellectual curiosity on one hand, and feeling the urge of doing what I'm doing from a gut feel point of view, like more not a belief even. It's just like I feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be, and I can't really explain it. It's kind of the universe talking to me in some way. Whatever that means.
You're
yeah.
the spot.
Amen.
Yeah. So
interesting Zeus and Amen. The original prototype of Zeus is Zeus Ammon. Ammon coming from the Egyptian Amun, meaning Amen. Ammon Ra, Amen Ra. You can look into this. So the expression is, I'll worship the sun as well.
Agreed.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Zeus Ammon is shown wearing horns on his head, or having a set of horns coming out, and this is a thematic amongst European worship of the Cernunnos, but also may have a link to, if you look at the Pashputi seal in the Indra Valley, very similar to, it's all connected, as you say, it's all connected. And but just on the point of resurrection and reincarnation and these kind of things, I'm a fence sitter as well. I never say never. I think we have some data of near-death experiences. We have some data on this, but it's feasible that when time and space break down for us as individuals, that reincarnation could be non-linear in approach. So when you're walking down the street and the little cat jumps out and you stop to stroke it, or the snail, It could be your best friend who's still alive now, and that's why you recognize it. Maybe.
I think that's stretching it a little bit, George. I don't believe in a soul. That's something that leaves the body. I do know that we are composed of a lot of minerals, right? And when we decompose, those go back into the soil, and then you have plants and stuff that they are reused. So when you're breathing out carbon dioxide. Well, that carbon may have come from somebody else. So we're all part of this whole planet. So is that reincarnation? Is that recognizing? It's stretching it.
I'm only coalesced in this form for a temporary period. Maybe like yourself, I don't know. Maybe who knows? But I've only coalesced here for a short time. I'm experiencing it same as you guys. I have the questions, same as you, and it's been going on for a long while. But on the question,
it just can't be proven. That's a problem.
Yeah, the divine spark in you, Dr. Harold, and the divine spark in you, Professor Sylvain, and you, Jay, and everyone who tuned in, I believe is an aspect of a greater thing. What that is, I'm not putting a word on it or defining it. And I may be completely wrong, and I reserve that right.
You have the right to believe what you wish.
Yep.
Because we don't have absolute answers to everything, anyways.
We don't know. We don't know.
Yeah,
but there does seem to be a plan going on, and that's something that I seem to be very consistent. Just talking to people and seeing how things are designed, how things kind of occur. Everything's connected, so everything's pulling on everything else. That's good. But there seems to be orchestration around what's happening more recently, the last few years, especially, but even back then. And that's just through anecdotes, observations, frequency changes in apparitions and messaging. And I certainly feel the pull, and I've talked to a lot of people that are basically telling me the same thing. Like most people, I've had a conversation recently with someone that approached the Alliance about this from Germany. And I have these discussions dozens of times since we started the Alliance a few years ago. They tell me, like, I just had my first contact channel visitation, whatever, in 2020, 21, or 22. Those years when we had the gut feel to say, hey, we need to start the Alliance. Something's going on. A bunch of people started seeing things and having visitations or like feeling guided into doing something related to ETs. And I meet a lot of these people. And is it a canonical movie that came out in Hollywood in those periods? Like, not really. Like it was like, what's going on? But we seem to be leading towards first contact, to me, at least to me in my mission. Like it seems like humanity is being more overtly and expediently prepared for contact with ETs, with us not freaking out.
Yeah.
And with the project with the embassy, that kind of concept is within rules that governments understand, so that they don't fight each other at that level, because we don't want that either. People don't want to go into war, but sometimes leadership with militaries and nuclear weapons can decide to go to conflicts without the acquiescence of the population, which we've seen plenty of times. And we're building the Alliance. It's very exciting. Getting the embassy built soon with an agreement from a nation soon. We're leading to that point where we will be able to answer the questions, I think, that we've all been having about the ETs when they come down and start having a chat with TV crews kind of pointing at them. It's like, now we're talking. That's not David Grush telling stories or some experiencer kind of telling their story. Now it's like CNN. And
I got a question.
Here we are. Like, we've come at the embassy. It's safe. And here's why we're here. Hollywood style, but real.
Yeah. So what gives, let's start with the professor first, then Doc. What gives you hope and what concerns you the most?
But what gives me most hope is fundamentally humanity's design. I'm going really fundamental here.
Mhm.
We are designed to seek happiness and to seek love and give it. That's our fundamental design. Remove like these chronic stress, like being like pushed towards a wall, that kind of thing. And we are developing technologies and communication networks that allows us to extricate ourselves from these positions in most cases, and we're getting better at it. And even though there's a lot of drama around us, we're getting there. So that's my best hope, is that no matter what's going to happen, people will prevail. I believe we will be able to figure it out with understanding, less conflict, less competition. That's my hope. My main fear is that before we get there, before we get to that consensus, we self-destruct.
Yeah.
I would get to that. And that would not be the fault of the general population. It'll be the fault of leadership that has access to weaponry.
Mhm.
And just triggering a nuclear war or something drastic like that would just slash all of that hope.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, very good. My hope, and I have to explain it first, is that you have an egg, you have a sperm, they come together, 46 chromosomes. One is either an X or a Y, making you female or male. 45 out of 46 chromosomes are the same between a man and a woman. Okay? As kids, no problem. We hit puberty, everything changes, right? Hormones control our lives. You take two men, you draw a line in the sand, you cross that line, there's going to be a fight, there may even be death. You take two women, draw a line, cross the line, they're going to become friends sometimes. They may draw a new line. They're not going to kill each other in general, and they're not going to kill their babies. The problem I see that it's my worry is that we have too many men in control of nuclear weapons in this world, and they're just, they're forcing each other to either back down or fight. And that's the problem with men. And that's the problem how we're raised because of our testosterone. We need to be more, not women, but more like women, and that we work it out, talk it out. And that's my hope, that we can do this in a peaceful way and not kill one another.
Awesome. George, you got next question?
Questions? Oh no, I was thinking about hopes and fears for the future. Not really a question. It's more of a statement I wanted to make about anything that contains a spirit of goodness. Generally, like is positive and enriching. I'm behind 100%. I'm not on a spirit of badness or what we term as evil. I think maybe that I look at my own personal NHI. I have a non-human intelligence called Mr. Meowgie, my cat. It has consciousness, it has sentience, it has awareness, it's intelligent, but it doesn't have higher philosophical reasoning of good and evil. It just is. And I often wonder what it's like if I put my consciousness in a cat and just be. And this seems to be a harmonious way. Now, obviously, that's a small household domestic feline, and we've got different terms for it. I sometimes imagine it thinks it's a lion. Now, if I encountered a real lion, I might get eaten. So what's been on my mind recently, and I wanted to kind of scroll a little bit back to the telepathy concept and telepathic communication with entities that are not non-human. I'm not talking about hybrids. I'm not talking about human telepathic communication. I'm talking about if you read the material, if you look at the case files, if you listen to the experiences, this word telepathy comes up again and again and again. I'll try and formulate a question, and I appreciate it might be a bit roundabout to get there. What's been on my mind recently is if a species, entity or entities or species are intuitively and naturally telepathic, and have been here for a set amount of time, either hiding as watchers or hiding or manipulating lines over time. How do I know my thoughts and ideas are not implanted from outside by like something people might understand is Professor X, a kind of like very powerful mutant character who's telepathic, and he defends himself by supplanting telepathic thought into the mind of the thing. And then you have the whole dream state. So seeing as I am binary and I think in terms of good and evil, this makes me feel good, this makes me feel bad, these kind of like things, does it not stand to reason that potentially, and I really do not want to push the threat narrative. I think if there was a threat, we would. Why is an alien outside of human? Would you wait until 2026, 27, 28? Why not do it at 1322? Much easier, much less people, much easier to sort out, or further back. So I don't think intrinsically we should be worried about alien contact, but I do sometimes wonder with these case studies, not all of them are positive. Not all of the interactions are positive. Some of them are negative for the individual. Is it possible, to coin a phrase from Ancient Aliens, is it possible that if an alien with, I think intention is the key word here. So I've just been wondering, while staring at my cat, what my cat's intentions are, and do aliens have, what are their intentions? Specifically, maybe what is termed Elohim, as in gods or creator species, and it's like, well, what's the intention here? Obviously, within some of the text, there is positive and negative aspects to these things. When I was at school, some friends said the best form of defense is offense. And I always disagreed with that. I said the best form of defense is defense. I want to break the cycle of offense and defense. I want to break that. So I think the best form is form, maybe. I don't know. Have you got any thoughts on potentially malicious or benevolent species out there, in here, now, elsewhere, dimensionally, extraterrestrial, ultra-terrestrial? It gets very confusing. I appreciate that. But if they're telepathic, what does that mean for us in our current position on this planet?
Boy, you touched on a bunch of things. Go ahead, Sylvain.
Yeah, I'm gonna just kick this off with one element, and I think you can pick up the rest. But at least I'm gonna tackle one piece. When we're talking about a civilization, right? You're talking about a bunch of individuals, and they're not all the same. They don't all have the same intention, right? Or motivation, emotionality, personality, all that stuff. So let's say there's a bunch of interactions that occur with extraterrestrials, NHI, right? Some of them are positive, some of them are negative. Well, if you look at the ancient stories, it was the same then. Like, you had some that were quite terrible interactions.
Yeah.
And because some of the gods were moody or had a problem at that day or whatever, like, these are people. So yeah, we have to think just like we should be thinking out here. We think about let's say, thinking about the Chechens, because you mentioned Czech Republic earlier, and you may know one Czech, and you figure, well, they're all like that. Nope, they're not. We know this, right?
Yeah.
But we tend to do that, and then we have all this one ET story. It's like, well, all ETs must be like that. No. So that's one piece of it. So just because there is some negative interactions doesn't mean that all interactions are going to be like that. And because you're maybe dealing with different individuals here, and we are also different individuals with our perceptions and things like that. So that's one piece of the puzzle. And the other piece of the puzzle, which I think Harold can dive into, is more on the civilization. Like, why are they here? Why are they not invading? Why haven't they not done it? Obviously, like, what's the deal here? What is their purpose? What is their goal? What do you think, Harold?
Well, it's been said by Rael in the messages is that once you've attained a certain technological advance, that you can now leave your solar system. That everyone that does that or is capable of doing that to go into a different solar system are peaceful. Because if they're not peaceful, they will not ever leave their solar system. That's one thought. It's just someone's saying that's true, and I believe it because everything he said. This information that he speaks about was given 50 years ago, and when I sit and listen to people like Elon and people with abundance and all this stuff that's happening, it was prophesized 50 years ago, over 50 years ago, right? And that to speak to another thing that first you got it's the idea of yin yang, so there's good and bad, right? So I'll leave that there. That's philosophical. What I like to talk about are facts and things that I can see as being more real that we can work with. A medium, you've been throwing this out a little bit about having ability to have a telepathy, which is basically a telepathic ability. These are mediums. And what are we really attaching or a feeling? It's like your sister being able to know you wanted ice cream, right? Now, she's tapping into you, and because she is on the same level in that particular arena, she knows you. It's been like couples on different parts of the continent. They have a feeling of what's going on with their companion because they know each other. So when I have, and I'll bring it out. I'm a medium. I have these things, these feelings, and these contacts, if you will. It's thought that these human beings that are on this planet of the Eternals are consciously meditating right now, and that we may be having some telepathic contact with them from over huge distances. Because if you know anything about quantum mechanics, distance isn't an issue, right?
Yeah.
Now, one other thing you brought up, because you brought up a lot of things, George.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. Is that when I meditate, I'm at my level, but what happens when you meditate to a certain level, you actually can leave your body and you can be outside of your body looking at yourself, your room, where things are. That is a form of supra consciousness outside of your own, where you can go above and look at yourself as just a little piece of the planet Earth at this particular moment.
Strange you should mention that. I created some art. I used an artificial intelligence program to prompt it to create some form of what I would maybe call art. Other people don't call art, but I'm not going to get into that argument of what is art. But yeah, it's a picture. I'll send you after the show. It's personal. It's maybe someone does this in some way, but it's showing. You know when you see the pale blue dot from the Voyager and it's going around, how incredibly small and tiny and a speck of dust, a mote of dust. But then micro macro again, it's like, well, we are so much more than what that image maybe says. And I think in the scale and the size of the cosmos and maybe the multiverse and these kind of things, I think life is the key of importance, and we need to hold on to it, cling on to it, and make sure it continues as well. So yeah, absolutely. As a medium, having your own experiences, Dr. Harold. I'll be interested to hear about some of those interactions later, perhaps, or if you wish to share at some point. Oh yeah, okay. UFO is sponsored by.
There we
This
go.
is what I envision the future. So when we started
your
out,
comment, George, like I like to say that we are at the universal level, we are infinitely insignificant, but simultaneously we are infinitely important at the same time. Like as individuals, I mean,
Yeah,
because we are part of the universal consciousness.
yeah.
But also we are numerous, right? But we are each one of us is unique, and therefore we're nuancing the universe and how it perceives itself. So there's this this dichotomy going on there as we belong into the universe.
I think maybe my issue is I can dream amazing things, and yet I'm in hard knock reality as well, physical three-dimensional space-time, which has very real repercussions. I think maybe I'm more philosophical as a dreamer. Maybe is not the most practical person. But I think, like you were saying earlier, everyone's unique. Everyone has different skill set to bring to the table and take part. Hopefully, like I said earlier, from a spirit of good, from an intention of good. Concerning the embassy, if there were entities, creatures, extraterrestrials, ultra-terrestrials, whatever out there with malicious or misunderstood intent, could be a better way to put it, misunderstood intent, then surely a location to enter into negotiations and discussions with them on a level of understanding could be the place to do it, right?
Right. Important.
Yeah.
They also say that this planet is protected by the Elohim because they were our creators and they are protecting us. And that's another way they're saying that indirectly, and this is just my idea, is that SETI, Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, has not been successful because we are protected.
Yeah, they're on purpose not remaining under the radar, basically.
Yeah,
undetected.
But yeah, I don't know how many of you guys are Trekkies though, but there's some of those stories on Star Trek, you know.
We all are.
Gene Roddenberry was a visionary, and I think we need more visionaries with a similar hopeful sound. You know, like the more people believe in hope, and that hope can overcome fear, and that good can overcome evil. I see within many different types of community within UFO, UAP, NHI. We had this chat last show, didn't we, Jay? The division, finger pointing, finger wagging, starting arguments for a couple of clicks. It seems ridiculous. I think, like, can you imagine the observer effect if everybody had a unified, forward-facing, hopeful vision of the future? There's nothing that the leaders who are, you know, why we elect some of the leaders we do, I'm not sure. They would have no alternative but to listen to us all, and it's always been about divide and conquer. We know this.
Of course, there is other books out there. If you want to take a look, Rael does have other books out there that are very good too. Very good too. Along with Intelligent Design, he's got a lot of them.
Right.
Yeah, Intelligent Design is the book. It includes this one and two other books actually inside one. These are the books that describe his encounters.
Yeah, he wrote one before he had his second encounter, right? So he had to.
Yeah.
So this is compiling all of his, a lot of his stuff, almost all of it.
I got the original. Space aliens took me to their planet, and it was this one was actually
that was the second book,
translated by the Canadian Raelian movement.
Right. Yep. I'm in Canada, by the way.
and I was there at the time.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's important to realize that we are at the end of a certain journey, and you know, a journey where competition, the law of the fittest, kind of like dominated for a long time, and that's why, like we talk about the paradism, right? Like, and restructuring of systems to benefit humanity correctly, collaboration versus competition, more nurturing versus fighting, like a new world where there's abundance. Talking about abundance 360, because I do follow Peter Diamandis, and I am a futurist myself. If we keep moving in that direction towards a world of abundance and collaborate, because now there's enough for everybody, then everybody can, even the simplest of us, imagine a world where collaboration is enough. You don't need to fight for survival anymore, right? In that world, we can be at peace and breathe and be artists, even weird artists, whatever. You can be you and just be, right? You don't need to compete with robots or AI. No competition. Just be yourself, and it's enough.
Yeah, this come out just today.
Yeah,
that Jay is showing it. It's incredible. It's that we're talking about this, and now you see it there. The alien movement. It's the Board of Peace for Extraterrestrial Embassy in Gaza. Of all else.
That would be an amazing gesture to have the world's first ET embassy in Gaza officially open for diplomatic missions by extraterrestrials, and then Gaza would be quickly transformed in a positive.
Leon, we had Leon on.
Yes, right.
We just had him on. Yeah, great guy.
Yeah. Milieu. Yeah,
he's great.
Yeah, he's a bishop. He's a bishop in our movement. Yeah, I'm a priest. So, yeah, to give you some idea, we have different levels of guides.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. I'm. Oh my gosh, tongue tied. Jerry Barker. Jerry Barker. He's my best friend. He's down here in northeast United States.
Exactly. Yeah, I know Jerry very well. It's a good man.
Good friend of mine.
It's a race car driver.
Yeah, man. Yeah. He's thinking about. He's actually. Oh yeah, that's another thing I wanted to put out. So here we go. Let's put that out real quick. So now that it's on my head, Jerry is going to put our Galactic Family Podcast symbol on his race car when he's racing. It's going to be now on his race car.
There you go. Advertisement.
Which symbol would that be?
We have a couple now. Now the symbol's okay. Now here's our 1 year anniversary. We had our resident rock star, pop star out here. She designed it for us. So we started out with this symbol.
I see. Okay.
Then it went to this. And now it is boom. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
A bit of branding, and I think it kind of summarizes what we're doing.
The one that will be on his vehicle will be the top left, Galactic Family.
So there's going to be what kind of race car? Was it NASCAR or is it Formula 3 or
no?
What is it? The mud tracks and stuff.
They're dirt track.
Dirt track rally.
Oh, I see. Okay. Oh yeah, that's fun to watch. I don't like to watch the other kind of race car or races, but that I do enjoy.
Yeah, he's gonna put that on his race car.
There you go. There you go.
I don't know what you got lined up, Jay. I had a video of something I wanted to share quickly.
Yeah, go ahead.
It going right the way back to the beginning of the conversation about biological robots and biology being potentially programmable. And we kind of went around artificial biological systems, and then we got into a whole thing about computational simulations and 100% copies. See if I can bring this up a moment. Give me a sec. It's this is a kinesin protein with a molecule of the protein myosin dragging a ball of endorphins along a filament. Some of
I've
you may
seen
be,
it.
some
I've
of you
seen
may
it.
be aware of this, but
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great when I think I
Video,
know
yeah.
what you mean.
Yeah.
let me bring this in a second. Give me a sec. I'm new to this system here. Okay, is that on screen? I've turned the sound off, so you don't need the sound.
Not yet on screen.
When you feel happy or sad, you can thank this little fella. I think that's. I mean, that's the. You talk about intelligent design. I've not read the book. I've not.
There
read
it is.
I don't know about Rael's kind of visions and interactions and things, but if there is intelligent design, this is maybe evidence of it. These things are working 24/7 in our bodies to move proteins around. It's a fascinating bit. I mean, just from an engineering and scale point of view, it is a beautiful thing.
It's amazing.
It's even like because I'm a biochemist, right? My training.
Oh, okay.
You see this like this looks like a little robot, and that's what it is. But the most fascinating things about most of these, because this is only one example. There's like hundreds of other examples in the cells like this. They're doing different things. Little robots is that they typically disassemble and reassemble when they're needed. It's like transformers all the time. They don't. It's just not like we're used to build a robot, and it kind of sticks around like, and then it has eventually it breaks down. In the cell, usually it's assembled. It does a job for a while, and then it degrades into its components, and then it's reassembled again using different pieces, and in a continuous cycle that's highly energy efficient. Way better than anything we've ever built. It's mind-boggling the complexity and how this is, and it's all orchestrated from the code in 4 base pair in DNA. It's all encoded there. All this complexity is compacted in this very simple string of molecule that encodes everything, including the protein, but also like the junk DNA pieces with the introns and whatever, code how the protein is going to be built, how does the DNA fold, and so on and so on and so on. It's all in one molecule, all encoded there.
As a trained in the field of biochemistry, like looking at these kind of little machines, for want of a better word, would you suggest, or maybe you have an inclination towards whether they is logical and follows some kind of design? I mean, like, is this happen chance? Is this just occurred happen chance? I mean,
it's there's actually some decent research and thought around this by scientists. I would recommend you look up Michael Behe, who kind of put his head around this, like, okay, like now we understand a lot of complexity. Is there a way to reverse engineering? Like, it's because speciation, natural selection, building up in complexity means there's different steps that needs to be survivable, right, to lead into the next step, and so on and so on. So he looked at these small machines, the flagella of the bacteria and things like that, and say, okay, well, if you get this very complex machine, what were the steps? Are there steps ahead of that we can observe or imagine and calculate that actually would be survivable, leading to the more complex part? And he came to the conclusion that this has to be designed, because there's a lot of examples he cited that are just you can't there's no step. It's like somebody built like an engine, and it's already there. It's not something they can't have a quarter of an engine and have it work. It doesn't work. And I'm simplifying his argument, but definitely you can look at his work and other works like that look into it. It's like, wow, like it's a stretch just calling it. It's like, well, it just happens to be there. And therefore, because it exists, it must be random.
Yeah.
Well, what if it's not?
Yeah.
Random, right?
Welcome back.
There's a hand in there, but then you can't prove the hand existed because it's not there anymore. Like tinkering with the genes, visibly.
Jason has a very succinct and awesome introduction when he introduces himself. He's a veteran, retired sergeant, U.S. Army, and Bronze Star recipient. and I was asked to write something about myself, and I almost did like a page and a half. But within that I describe myself as a loose collection of microcellular organisms working in a symbiotic relationship to experience existence.
Nice.
So when I say I mean we, as in the totality of the inter symbiotic relationship. But yeah, fascinating stuff. I think yeah, they're like looking at just on eyesight level, looking at the animals, plants, creatures. Obviously, with the use of microscopes, looking small and looking big. The structure of the neuronal mass in the brain, looking at the dark matter, this kind of the weave of that as well, and looking at there's a pattern to it. And it seems to be of a design of some description. Are you aware of a very old program called The Game of Life, where they set this? It's almost like a computer program called The Game of Life. It was created, I think, maybe even late 60s, early 70s, very early. And it's a very simple set of instructions where it copies itself to the next area, and if it meets criteria, it continues. If it doesn't, it stops. It's called, yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, it's called Game of Life. I could try and pull it up in a bit, Jay.
Yeah, I actually have something pulled up from the Extraterrestrial Diplomatic Contact website. The video, if you want me to share that, I can share that here. Let me see here.
It just describes who we are.
The Alliance for Extraterrestrial Diplomatic Contact is a non-profit international network of organizations and professionals who support projects leading up to the formal welcoming on Earth and diplomatic contacts with extraterrestrial civilizations. As soon as our humanity and the political leaders governing our world will be ready to do this officially in an internationally recognized embassy. We believe there are many advanced civilizations neighboring our galaxy, and one in particular has been observing and preparing us for a long time for an eventual encounter. They are simply waiting for us to become more supportive of a peaceful and open contact. Building an embassy with the support of the United Nations would show extraterrestrial civilizations that we are ready to become an integral part of a greater galactic community, and to embrace the science, technology, and wisdom of more advanced civilizations. Alliance members would benefit from the progress of this project on all levels, and if they wish, they could also be involved in the planning and construction of a scientific, touristic, and economic center built next to the very first embassy for extraterrestrial diplomatic contact. Join the Alliance network and help make the Extraterrestrial Embassy project a reality. Be part of the most important event in human history. Contact us at our website www.alliance4et.org.
Yep. The Alliance for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, and that's beautiful. That's beautiful. We should all be working as one for that. Oop, wrong one.
Have you guys heard of the term Scientology?
Yes.
Yeah. It's basically a place that's pretty much close to the embassy that could house scientists, if you will, that can do their experiments and help go into the golden age without having any political or financial or other types of restrictions, because that's a real problem now for people that are doing science now, as far as the armies and governments and pharmaceuticals and all these other pulls that have to do with being able to do their science. But Scientology would be a part of that as well.
Yeah, and these are some of the networks that were actually involved in joining the network, and you know, it's it's wonderful. We all need to stick together. We're on here as well, Galactic Family Podcast. You know, we support the initiative 150% because it has to happen. It does. We have every embassy on this planet except for the extraterrestrial embassy.
True.
Yeah, it's the embassy is really a humanity project, right?
It is.
And it's really for us. Like ETs don't need an embassy to come and contact us. They've been connecting with us for a long time, right? But we need the embassy so that to be prepared with ourselves and the leaders and whatever else, right? We understand embassies. Embassies follow our own laws, Vienna Convention, and otherwise. It's something we understand. It's this effort that we're on with the Alliance and also SETC, really, is to prepare humanity for the contact. Everything is for humanity. Even though, like I know, George, you had initial you talked about, well, what about the vaporous or the non-corporeal? Like it really doesn't matter too much because they're waiting for us to be ready, not with a building, but be ready psychologically, right? They'll adapt. They can send clones, drones, whatever they want into an embassy, but we need to arrive in the embassy. We need to have the film crews there. That's for us because we're not used to this. This is new to us.
Yeah.
We want to be prepared, and we believe that they'll respect that because they want to make an entrance in the right way, in a way that we'll understand and not be fearful and so on. After that, everything's possible, I think. Like I have a little dream of mine where we build the first embassy, they'll meet us there in the way you'd understand it, you know, coming down and meeting us. There's a meeting room in there and all that stuff. And then soon after, we have personal interactions in our living rooms with ETs because they can do that. We can't, but because we quickly get used to the idea of ETs are around. Humanity is very flexible, but we need that first time needs to happen in the right way. And we need to be the ones saying, welcome, come here, we're ready. Right?
I'm of the belief that first contact is observation, knowing of the existence, and then observing is a form of contact leading up to, you know, a physical interaction of some description, potentially.
So
what's interesting with the diplomatic initiative that you have and the alliance you're putting together is several months before I met Jay, several months before I'd even heard of the term Raelianism, before I'd heard anything about the embassy, on my LinkedIn page when I had that prior, I'd put down job title Pan-Galactic Federation Diplomat for Her Majesty's Government. And it was sanctioned as well. They gave me the role, right? They didn't So I'm interested in the work. I'm going to do a bit more research into things. I think maybe not everything aligns with me perfectly. Maybe I need to continue my obstinate fence-sitting on all things. I think, you know, we've talked a little bit about philosophy. I think, therefore I am. I've always believed I think, therefore I may be. I'm not sure. So, you know, I'm permanently out to lunch, always on holiday. I enjoy the discourse with gentlemen such as yourself. It's invigorating. It piques the imagination of what could be. And like I say, as long as there's a spirit of good, I'm 100% behind it.
The Alliance also has the Discord channel as well that you can join, as well as the Galactic Family Podcast Discord channel. You know, we can, if you guys want to connect to the Alliance, join the Galactic Family Podcast, and we'll send you their way.
Yeah,
you know,
if you are a scientist out there, SETC is Scientists for Extraterrestrial Diplomatic
Contact Initiative.
Yeah, so you should connect with a SETC, and we also accept the support of scientists in the Alliance, of course, similarly. But the Harold here is leading specifically group of scientists and coordinating. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. So if you could, we've been going a while, so this will be the last one for both of you from me, and then George, you can kind of edge it off at the end.
Okay.
If you could speak to world leaders directly right now, what would you say, Professor, and what would you say, Doc, on the ET embassy and getting it completed in time? Because if they come and it's not completed, it doesn't really, begs to, we need to get it done.
Well, here's my message to a world leader, assuming they're listening here. Be the first. Be the country. You have the power. If you're a sovereign nation, you have the power to give extraterritoriality specifically for an ET embassy. We'll collaborate with you, funds, blueprints, human resources planning, all that stuff. We have excellent personnel to deal with that, to help you out. And you can become, through that process, the nucleus of humanity, really. And, there's also other perks like job creation, all that stuff that you like to talk about with your constituents. It becomes a touristic location, and then it evolves into a post-contact, into a major hub for internationally. So there's very little to do for a massive benefit. So contact us.
Doc?
Yes. What would I say to the world leaders? If they're listening, and I hopefully they can or do, but basically it's love thy neighbor. We've been told that forever, but truly, respect, love, and don't kill each other. As far as the embassy is concerned, it really depends on us. Like Sylvain had mentioned earlier, they could be here anytime. It really depends on us to build it, but to also have the belief in that very thing I said, love one another. It can be built, and it would be there. As far as one thing I wanted to bring up is that you talked about art, George.
Yeah.
And if an artist puts their paint to canvas, are they not creating a work of art?
Yeah, the act of creation, and
it is. They're creating.
The process.
But I've been honored and blessed because I'm an embryologist as well. Over 25 years ago, I was able to take eggs out of a woman and sperm from a man, make a child, put it in the woman. She's pregnant, and deliver the baby in my office. And there's no one in North America that I know that's done that, to see it from start to finish, because I'm an embryologist as well. So that little girl who turned 25 this past December, we spoke when she turned 21, and it was interesting. I told her, I said, her name is Hannah. I said, Hannah, I'm the first one to ever hold you. And her mother and father were there too, and her mother said, yes, but I've been taking care of her ever since. So we were created. This humanity was created on this planet, and if you read in the Bible and places, we are created. We have the opportunity to be creators, music, art, individuals. We have the technology. We get this technology together. We can go to Mars. We can go out of our solar system. We can go and spread humanity. Can we make the genome better? Maybe. None of us are perfect, but we are.
Great
right?
messages there. Great messages. And just on a personal level, well done for doing what you did with that lady and her daughter. And that's pretty special. I know there's a lot of people out there who need access to technologies and things. Maybe moving forwards it becomes more prevalent in society. But I think great messages there. And if you want me to wrap up, Jay, and I don't know.
Doc and Professor Sullivan, thank you for being here. we'll go ahead and we'll do the last 10 minutes. If you guys want to sit in the back, then that's fine. We can talk to you right afterwards. If not, then you're free to go.
I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I don't know if either of you are on the platform LinkedIn at all.
Yes.
Sure.
Would it be possible for me to connect with you?
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Be sure to send me some type of a memo that we talked here, George, because
I will do, Dr. Howard, and
right.
no worries. Thank you for that.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you.
All right, George. Oh my gosh, that was wonderful, man.
Yeah, invigorating conversation. I learned a bit more about different aspects of Rayianism. I think kind of it needs to be looked at with different eyes potentially than what the status quo is online.
Yeah, exactly.
I think there may be some questions here and there, difficult ones. I'd like, personally speaking, I'd love if it's possible for the gentleman Rael himself to come on the show. That would be like, if that can occur, then I'd like to talk to him more about his personal experiences with this interaction with these entities.
Leon was actually trying to do that for us, so we'll see if that happens. Rabbi Leon, and
it will be with respect and understanding.
Oh,
but
very
I'd
much
like to open the case file on that interaction and how it occurred and what led up to it, the precursors, these kind of things. I think that'd be fascinating. 1 year, Jay. 1 year. I mean, I'm a noob at a couple of weeks. So I'm a noob here, but I'm proud of you for you anyway, as a mate, as a friend, and I'm just glad to be here to celebrate this 1 year under your belt. And from me to you, I think we've got so much more, and it's a journey in a way, and people come, people go, things happen. You're here for a while. Maybe at some point you decide it's not what you want to do. Maybe it's what you really want to do more and more. Either way, you have my support, and I know there's a lot of love out there for you, mate.
Thank you. I know Popstar, she's excited because she didn't actually know that this was going on a race car.
A race car, yeah. Soon, and the thing is, if this rally driver wins and does really well, one, it could be on TV. Two, you get the remote control with the colors on it, and it's just like, yeah, that's great.
Yeah, it'll be like I said, Popstar. It'll be the top left one will be on the race car, and once he gets it on there, I'll have to get a picture out to you guys.
Yeah.
So,
awesome. Thank you so much for doing this for us, Planet Popstar. It's much appreciated with your time and effort.
It's not wasted. It is beautiful, and it is gorgeous. And you did an amazing job. Thank you. And it shows. It shows. We also have I only wanted to do one or two more things, then we can wrap it up here. One was on the 3rd. 10:30 in the morning. 10:30 in the morning, February 3rd, Tom Sued, Sasquatch Island.
I'm looking forward to that. You'd sent me a couple of pictures, and that just like some of the imagery looks amazing. He's got a 16-minute, never before seen thermal imaging of a Sasquatch taken from the Sea Monkey. His boat over at Sasquatch Island, and we're looking forward to learning more about his particular tribe's understanding of Sasquatch, and also how to pronounce in his tongue the tribal name and also the name of Sasquatch, and learning more about the mythology and lore behind it.
Yeah, definitely, man. And a couple other things that are coming up that everybody's waiting for. We're waiting for a date still. Rear Admiral Tim Gallaudet. Still waiting for a date, but once he gives us the date, we'll have him on during the summer. He's going to be going over his new book, Holding Fast in High Seas, Leadership for Turbulent Times. Then, middle of February, what do we have? Boom!
Yeah.
Live.
We're gonna get pictures of Jay covered in cameras and video recording equipment. He's gonna have like about a 70-pound pack of SD cards, memory cards, celluloid, Polaroid, the whole shebang. We're gonna get an inside fly on the wall live interaction in the Nightcrawler on operations, setup, operations. It's all going to be documented. I'm hopefully going to be here for the live portion to be able to kind of move around. But yeah, we're gonna hopefully there'll be a blow by blow account of the equipment they're using, a presentation, and then moving on to I guess kind of setting up and recording and looking for said UFO, UAP in the sky.
Yeah, live on-site investigation right here in my home state, which I can't tell you the exact location because they told me to keep that under wraps, but state of Pennsylvania. So they will be here in Pennsylvania mid-February. We're still working out an exact date on when we're going to be there to witness this on the live on-site investigation with them. So once they give us that date, it's coming straight out to you guys. I can't wait to get this one going. And we got one more, the last one that I was putting up on screen here. Boom.
Yeah, go to space and pull a one-armed bandit at the same time. Oh yeah, we've got Spaceport Las Vegas coming on the show. Private endeavor, private money, private contractual obligations, and potentially a private casino. So you can go and grab a show or stays in Spaceport Vegas, and all of that. I'm excited to talk about this endeavor with the gentleman's name, who is
Thomas.
Thomas. Thomas. We'll get to speak to Thomas
from Las Vegas, from the spaceport. He's the company management officer.
Okay. Yeah. So a little some sadly no edging towards the end of this episode, but a little bit of teasing for you. Oh wow.
This is the complications of the bird language, okay? Complications of the bird language. Edged off? No!
I can translate this directly, Jay. Do you mind if I translate? I speak this language. I speak what that representation is saying is you filthy animals.
Wow. Like, you see all the ranges it goes in?
It's multi-complex, and I mean,
wow.
Do you think if AI as a communication tool is really going to get to grips with decoding animal vocality, language, whale song, dolphin song, bird song, do you like, we make jokes about like what our animals say or are thinking, but we know they're conscious, so they must have they have an understanding and intelligence and order to them.
Yeah.
Do you think they're just going on about today's a good day, let's go and get some food, or or do you think it's perhaps they have deep philosophies on bird life, right? or maybe they're saying I was once a Tyrannosaurus Rex, or don't steal too many chips, Dave the seagull. I don't know.
I don't know, man.
Like, can you imagine if an alien species came here with the AI and listened to our language patterns? Would they be able to decode how we communicate? Wobbling air into eardrums and little vibrational hair in your ears and eardrums and stuff?
That's a really good question, man. If they can, because
I'm of the opinion that AI's mathematics is going to be the communication. Mathematics is going to be the communication system, and obviously the way to do that is with a computer software. It's to you know, advanced mathematics or whatever. I don't know, but it's exciting times, isn't it? I mean, like it's plenty happening on planet Earth, and some good, some bad, but it is exciting. Can't dismiss that.
And don't forget to grab your Artemis 2 boarding pass for your name to be flown around the moon. That will be on the NASA's website. I have mine already. I actually had my Artemis 1 boarding pass when they first came out, which is, you know, already there.
See, look at you and me. I'm stuck here, but then I like it here, so.
I got my boarding pass. I'm getting out of here, dude. It's been too long that I need to get mine and be like, this got to be a real ticket. Get me on that flight.
The chance to begin again, a new life in the off-world colonies.
Somewhere else other than here is see you up there. That's what I'm talking about. Skywatch is with me. Let's go. We're going to the moon. We're gonna make our own civilization up there, like, you know, on another planet. You know, we've got these weird happenings that happen all the time, like plasma, just living plasma entities, I believe.
Don't use phonetics to spell entities. Sorry, that's a really bad joke. But yeah, no, that's a crazy. I look at it. Reminds me, you know, those plasma balls that you put your hands on, and the electricity comes out, or it's not really electricity, it's plasma, right?
Yeah.
And it's got that. It's very organic. It's very biological. Whatever this is that you've captured, and this is your footage, right, Jay?
Yeah, this is mine.
Whatever you've captured it, it's got a biological aspect to it. It looks organic. It's
got arms in it. You see those little suction cuppies in it? Look.
Yeah, it's not hard light. Yeah, it's something going on there. I don't know quite what it is. Maybe I'm describing it badly, but it's strange. Very strange.
I don't know either, man. I got one more thing to put up here, and
be gentle.
Oh no, this is gonna be a good one to end it. Reptilians are in charge.
We've got the Isle of Wight representing coming through now.
Reptilians are in charge.
When you constantly know that whatever you know, there's always more to know, you're constantly seeking what it is you don't know. What I've seen with so much of the alternative media, especially a lot of mainstreamers who've come in since COVID, is you get so far, and you go from your little myopic prison, seeing the world in a certain way, and you go, there's a conspiracy going on, and it's political, and it's corporate, and it's banking. Stop. And that's where so much of the alternative media is. It's become an eddy going round and round while the river of knowledge flows past it. And when you are constantly saying...
So shout out to Skywatch, because he posted this on his X yesterday.
With some humility, whatever I know, there's more to know. You're constantly seeking what it is you don't know. And the synchronicity of my life also has driven me deeper and deeper in the rabbit hole. So from the early 1990s, when I was putting this global cult structure together, which we can talk about, I then asked the question, first of all, when did this start then? Because it was obvious from the structure I put together that it wasn't 5 years ago or even 50 years ago. This goes back, way back. So you start charting it back, and you get pretty comfortably back to ancient Rome and Egypt and Babylon and Sumer and all these Middle Eastern
regions from which the major religions came out of. And you then realize that people have been born, they've played a part in advancing this agenda, which is for the constant centralization of power. We were in tribes once, and the people in the tribe were deciding what happened in the tribe, and then loads of tribes were brought together to form a nation. Now a few people at the center of the nation are dictating to all the former tribes, and now we've got the European Union and these other groupings of countries whereby a tiny few people at the center are now dictating to whole vast regions of the world. And so this centralization of power has gone on and on. But people were being born, they were playing a part in advancing this agenda within this cult. The cult was expanding and expanding its reach until it was eventually global. And they were then dying, and other people would take over. So you were seeing this process. So the next question is, so there has to be some common force that's been overseeing all of this and that's been orchestrating all this. Because you're born, you play a part, you die, someone else born plays a part, die. There's got to be some orchestration, because if people are being born and they know that although they're playing a part in advancing this cult agenda, they ain't going to be here, well, in theory, to see it reach fruition. I mean, what's going on? There has to be another force. And this was the point from the mid-1990s, when I first came to the United States to talk on these subjects, to nobody, by the way. I had this strange experience of 12 days, 12 times within 15 days, when I was traveling around America, talking to nobody. People came up to me, 12 different people, and told me the same story, that they'd seen someone who appeared to be human, then change shapeshift into a reptilian form and then go back again. And again, back burner, you go, the one thing you don't do, unless you're in a box, and unless you've, from previous research, you know it's nonsense, you don't dismiss it.
Yeah, I don't think we should dismiss it. I just think we should take every bit of information we get with a grain of salt, research it, and find out the truth for ourselves.
When you plot data, onto a chart and you draw a graph with a line, what you're looking for is the clusters.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you look at any science with data with a graph on it, right? There will be ones which are far out, which are nowhere near the line. If you're a scientist, you should look at those as much as you look at where the clusters and the line is. Yeah, you've got the projection of the line and where the clusters of data are, but there will be extraneous data points.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be discounted. They're still data points and part of the data set. And so when you hear reports of, you never guess what happened to me, I was in the shop and I saw a ball of light appear and then disappear, no one else saw it, or whatever the event is, I'm of the opinion that most people don't lie. Most people don't lie. Yeah, there are hoaxes. Yeah, there's UFO hoaxes. Great, that's fine. But it's still data in some form. It must have come, the imagination for it must have come from somewhere. The story must have come from somewhere. Special shout out to Christopher Frederick Dillard over at LinkedIn. Thank you so much for tuning in today and taking part with the discussion. You know, individuals like yourself, Popstar, D-Nits, Skywatch Signal, and everyone who's tuned in today quietly in the background or whatever. It's all about you. Yeah, it's been great today, Jay. 1 year.
1 year, man, and it's wonderful, man. Like, and and it's funny, just thinking about it. It's been a whole year, and
A bit of time. That's 24/7, 365, man. That's a whole year of like having this as a focus, and your vision is good.
Thank you. We're gonna make it from good to excellent though during this summer though, because once we hit into the new in-person investigations and stuff like that, and actually going out and doing stuff, I think we're gonna blast off.
Hopefully, now that you brought me into this, we can do more of these kind of like live on site. Maybe a bit like the viewer. Maybe there's a few teething problems, but we'll get the format down, and we'll get the editing and so on and so forth. I've got every confidence that Galactic Family Podcast can do that.
Oh yeah, we can do that. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for tuning in to this 1 year anniversary edition Galactic Family Podcast. And if you're enjoying it, memberships, like I said, they're open for $1. You don't have to, but it's a good way to support what we do here on the show and help us to continue to shine our galactic light into those dark shadows to start giving you the information you deserve to hear.
100%. Yeah, man. Like final thought, quickly before handing the end of the show over to you, Jay, is special thanks from me and Jay to Professor Sylvain Rochon and Dr. Harold Henning for coming on the show today. Thank you so much, gentlemen. It was a pleasure. Jay.
And like Planet Popstar says, we'll see you guys in the Discord, because that's where we are after this. You can find us on there. You can ask us questions. I'm on there. I'll be available. You can ask me a question, George a question, find out about next episodes, next seasons, preview videos, UAP experiencers.
The ideas room.
We're even starting a CE5 room that is that our resident rock star pop star right here. She's going to take over that most likely, and doing the CE5 portions and the meditations and the contact work that we need to start doing to prepare ourselves for what's coming.
Wild, man. All right.
Thank you guys for being here. We'll see you on the flip side on the next episode, February 3rd, 10:30 a.m. Tom Sued.
Yeah.
Have a good day, evening, and wherever you guys are in the world.